Hi.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are brand new here, my name is Nikki and this is my book nook. If you read the title, you know what this video is today. We are doing a reading vlog of The War of Two Queens by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the fourth book in the Blood and Ash series. I want to give a quick recap, but I just feel like, knowing me, this is going to turn into a several minute long ramble, so I apologize in advance. The Blood and Ash series was one of the first series I ever talked about on my channel. Blood and Ash was one of the first books I reviewed on this channel, and it was also the book that truly like reignited my love of reading times 1,000. I mean, I've been into reading my whole life. I've gone through highs and lows of it, but in the past like year or so, I really got back into it, and I thought I was back into it, but once I read Blood and Ash, I was just like, holy mother of God. Like, that was the best book I had read in probably 10 years. Nothing had gripped me as hard as that book. Nothing had just like pulled me in and built such a world and just had a man that was so darn appealing. I just couldn't get enough of it. I devoured that book, and then I moved on to Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. It was honestly even better, in my opinion. Like, those two books, I just could not get out of my head for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then I waited for a very long time for The Crown of Gilded Bones, highly anticipated. I did a reading vlog of that on my channel. Feel free to go watch it if you'd like to before this video. The Crown of Gilded Bones was a little bit controversial amongst the people of the book community. And I honestly kind of agreed with what I would like to say is the majority. I liked that book. Like, I don't have truly negative things to say about it, but I always say this, in a series, especially in a fantasy series where there's a lot of books, there's always gonna be a book or two in the middle where there's kind of a bit of a lull, I feel like, especially if it's a book that deals with war. Like, there's always going to be a book that's more of like a strategy book, an explaining book, a book that's setting up for the rest of the series. And for me, that book, The Crown of Gilded Bones, kind of felt that way, so it was a little slower for me. Wasn't my favorite of the series, and I think especially after loving the first two so much, that one was just like, I still rated it like 4 stars, 4.5 maybe even, probably 4 if I'm being quite honest. But I knew fully well that that's what it was doing. It was setting up for this next book and the rest of the series, and then the ending of it just freaking knocked it out of the park and gripped me so hard. If you read it, you know, the biggest freaking cliffhanger. Like, I felt like I had a gaping hole in my chest whenever I finished The Crown of Gilded Bones. I was just like, you've gotta be kidding me. And I was so ready to read this book. So now it's been many a month and it is here, and I am ready to dive into it. So yes, obviously, like we've been saying, I'm going to do a reading vlog of this. I'm going to bring you guys on the journey, as always on my channel with reading vlogs. I'm gonna do full spoilers. I'm gonna talk about it. That's the whole point of this for me, is that I want to be able to, like, as I'm going, just let my emotions out and talk about it with you guys. I'm going to, if you'd like to read along with me, I will always, whenever I start a new clip, I will always say what chapter and what page number I'm on. So if you want to like wait until I get to a certain part, like you want to finish it and then see my reaction or whatever and see what I have to say, then that would be really fun. But yeah, I'm excited to get into this book. I have to be upfront and honest with you guys. I never try to look at reviews for books I'm gonna read, honestly. Like, I love book recommendations, I love book recommendation videos, but I really don't watch book reviews, especially if it's a book I think I'm gonna read, because I love to just go in blind. I like to form my own opinion. But of course, this book was so highly anticipated, and the week it came out was the busiest week of my whole life. Like, last week, I could not read it right when it came out, which was heartbreaking. But even though I avoided it, you can't help but hear some buzz. And the buzz, from what I've heard, is kind of negative, and that really upsets me. I'm not gonna let it affect me. I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna give it my full honest shot and see what I think about it. I really don't know what it is people aren't loving about it. Again, I didn't look into it, and again, I hope it's not true. I hope I don't find it to be that way, but yes, I'm just gonna get into it. I said I was gonna ramble for several minutes, and that is what I've done. But yeah, I'm gonna put on some comfier clothes, first of all. And then I'm gonna get started, and I'm just gonna pop in whenever I have things to say. Castile, I missed you so darn much, and I'm hoping we get you back soon. So let's get started. Okay, hello guys. I don't know if this angle is lovely, but I'm too lazy to hold the camera. I kind of flew through the first 78-ish pages of this book, and I'm like, okay, we should check in and we should chat for a second, catch up a little bit. I'm on chapter 5, or I'm about to start it. So we start off with Castiel's point of view of him in the cell that Isbeth / Ileana has trapped him in, and he's basically just like repeatedly being drained of blood and like attacked over and over by cravens, and he's like, it's all worth it as long as she's not in pain, whatever. So they're apart from one another. They're still apart from one another 5 chapters in, and I knew that was how this book was going to start out. I knew I wasn't going to love it. I miss him so much. I miss them together, but it's all a part of the process. We got to take it in. The beginning of this book really just seems to be a lot of like preparing for the clearly oncoming war, like trying to get the word of Atlantia out and trying to take over some towns and stuff. I gotta be honest, I'm like catching up. I always have to do this, especially with fantasy books. Like when the books come out like 6 months apart, I have to spend the first half of the book kind of like playing catch up and putting the pieces back together of what we had previously learned. So that's what I'm currently doing, but Poppy's just over here being the badass queen that she is. And the reason I wanted to check in is we just had a bit of a revelation that Isbeth is like a demigod, demis, whatever that means. But it was just revealed that mortals were created from the flesh of primals and the fire of drakens, which is where the whole flesh and fire thing comes from, which I really appreciated that little explanation. Basically, I don't have much to report because I'm still we're just getting into it. We're barely getting into the weeds. I must say, like, I've known this, I've felt this way the whole time, but like Kieran, I love him so much. I love his love for Castiel. I love him and Poppy's banter and like their growing friendship. Like, even though he gives her a lot of shit, she gives him a lot of shit, he clearly cares so much for her, like the way that he's been like sleeping by her in his wolven form to like protect her, and knows that she's been having nightmares and like is having nightmares of Castiel and stuff. Like you can just tell they're like bonding a lot more, which we haven't talked about this yet, but the joining. I know the joining is a controversial conversation amongst the Blood and Ash community. I'm 1000% team joining. I physically need it, and I am like 99% sure it's gotta be happening in this book. It's been hinted at for so long. It's been talked about for so long. I feel like even JLA has been hinting at it. Just she knows what the people want, or what some of the people want. I know a lot of people aren't for it, whatever. Also, the people that are salty about this book, I just have a feeling that's maybe why. But yeah, strongly anticipating that. That will obviously require Castiel to come back, and I miss him so much. So hopefully that's soonish. I feel like it won't be until like halfway through the book. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's where we're at. That's all I have to report at the moment. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Okay, hi. I haven't made much progress because, as per usual, every time I do a reading vlog and decide to check in, shit hits the fan 0.2 seconds later. So we are on chapter 7 now. I'm full of rage. I'm full of rage and so many emotions at once. So first of all, let's just start. Let's just chronological order, or I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay, so first of all, right after I checked in last, I did forget, but have forgotten to mention so far, obviously before this book came out, we got the first book in the Flesh and Fire series, Shadow and the Ember, and we've kind of known or have anticipated that because that book came out in this chronological order, that the two stories would probably weave together in this book. You know, we saw Nyktos at the end of Crown of Gilded Bones, and then obviously Shadow of the Ember is the story of Nyktos and Seraphina, his consort. So it is to be expected that now we're gonna see the stories kind of combined to some extent, and that is happening now. And it's really, interesting. I just love it. I love like multi-series worlds and seeing them cross over and like try to put the puzzle pieces together, and the way that they won't say Seraphina's name in this story yet, how like they're unable to say her name, and then hearing about Nectus, like and the Draken now being like involved in this world. Super cool. I love it. I'm interested to see more of it, all of that. Now let's get to the rage. So they just got the package, right? They got the package from Isbeth, and it had to be opened with Poppy's blood because it was sealed with primal magic. I literally, like, my heart dropped to my asshole, not to be disgusting, but when they opened that box and it's freaking Castile's finger with his wedding ring still on it, the way I would lose my mind. Like when she was describing Poppy's like emotions and how her ether was like going crazy and she was about to like tear the whole freaking city down, would be me. That's so fucked up. That's so fucked up. Like, I mean, please don't send me any of my husband's body parts, but like his freaking ring finger with the ring still attached to it, I would be tearing Carcedonia and freaking Macedonia and Spess's End. I can't even remember all the names of the places. I'd tear the whole freaking place down. I was livid. I literally was like fuming as I was like reading Poppy's response to it. But Kieran calmed her down, right? Talked some sense into her again. Love their relationship, love him, love them. They need to get a game plan together. She can't just storm in there. That's obviously what Isbeth wants. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna form a game plan and do this the smart way. Cass is strong. Don't know if he's strong enough to reform digits. Prob's not, but so angry. But yes, and then we have the revelation that Poppy needs feed. This is not as relevant, but we must mention she needs to feed and finish her like culling or whatnot because she's a god now. And Kieran has so graciously offered up himself for feeding at some point. And it has been reminded that feeding can often get very intense and a little intimate. So not upset about that. Interested to see where that goes. Obviously we love Cass. It's all about Cass. But she's gotta feed, you know. She's gotta feed. A girl's gotta eat. I don't know when that's gonna happen. But yeah, yes. Okay, hello guys. It has been a day or two since I've checked in because honestly, I've been waiting for like a big milestone event to happen because not much has happened, honestly. I'm on page 289, chapter 22. That's where I just got. Little recap. It's been a lot of just like Poppy and them like claiming cities and stuff, just making their way to Carcedonia. The claiming cities part, again, like I think I've mentioned this already, war in books is like rough for me. It gets a little boring, it gets a little tedious, and that for me I'm like not loving. I know it's a part of the process and it has to happen, but it's like, you know, it's just not like super duper interesting. The only thing keeping me really going is Poppy's dreams. Again, don't know if I mentioned this yet, but like her and Castile have been able to reach each other in their dreams because they're heart mates and they can talk to each other, and those little moments really help. And then the moments in Castile's perspective, we got to see a little moment, or really the first moment between him and, I'm still angry about this. I'm forever gonna be angry about this. Why do two characters have the same freaking name? Malik and Malik. Like, why? What was the purpose? I don't know. I guess technically Castile's brother, I think it's Malik, so I'm gonna call him that, but I'm just so used to because it's spelled like Zayn Malik. It's probably technically actually pronounced Malik anyways. Malik is Castile's brother. Malik is Malik. Isbeth's Malik. Okay, now that we cleared that up. We saw our first little interaction really in the series between Castile and Malik, their little brotherly I don't even want to say bond because they kind of hate each other a little bit, but of course they're brothers. It's very kind of beginning of Vampire Diaries, Stefan and Damon sort of tension. Like, you can tell they kind of hate each other, but also it's like, we're brothers and I haven't seen you in like a very long time and this is awkward and I hate you, but also what is going on? Like, I don't know. That's just kind of what it reminds me of. That's kind of the main thing. There's been some like dark magic stuff happening. I think primal magic is what it's called. The old lady, Vesa, was that her name? She freaking killed all the Draken, and they keep saying that Poppy's like the harbinger of death. And then there was a lot of explanation of like how mortals were created, how the revenants are created, how just a lot of explanation. But where I just am currently at is Poppy finally agreed to feed on Kieran because she needed to, because she was hungry. And it got a little tense, got a little tense. There were some feelings, there were some thoughts. I can tell this is going to come to a head because as she was feeding from him, she could like read his thoughts, and she saw, I cannot remember what it was called, but like that event in the last book, like on the beach, where everybody was like doing nasty things and watching each other, and it's like part of it. And she saw Kieran watching her and Castile when we didn't know that he had been watching her. Like, she was watching Kieran and the person he was with, but now we know Kieran was also watching her, and he like brought it up and it's like, are we not going to talk about that? And she's like, no. And he's like, I thought it was going to shock you, but it seems like it just intrigued you. So I don't know, man. I don't know if she's gonna feed from him again. I got a little, I don't know, I got a little worried. I thought they were gonna have a full-on like romp right there that first time, but nothing happened. I feel like we'll get Castile back and then like the joining will happening. I don't think anything's gonna happen with just her and Kieran. I hope not. I don't know. I love their friendship and I'm like loving this little tension. It's giving me like something spicy to hold on to. But Castile is everything to me and they are everything to me, so I don't want to like jeopardize that. We can have a threesome situation, but I would prefer to not just straight up cheat on him, if you're asking me. Anyways, yeah, we're this far into the book and we're still without Castile. So next goal is to get him back because I need it. Okay, I just got to page 353, chapter 26. Just smacked myself in the face with the book. So we just had our little mini Poppy Castile reunion. They are in the castle with Isbeth and Malik. I'm still trying to figure out Malik's game here. I mean, I feel like it's gonna be revealed that he's just been playing along and then he's gonna like stab Isbeth in the back. That's what I'm assuming and hoping is his deal, because it's like, why is he on her side? I mean, I know he's like been held captive all this time, but it's like, he's acting like he's like affectionate towards her in a way, and I feel like he's obviously must not be. I mean, he went and like helped out Castile and whatnot, so I don't know his game. I don't know Isbeth's game. Like, I don't know what she wants. The banter between them all is kind of like entertaining as they're, I don't even know. I don't know what's happening with all that, but she did let Poppy see Castile and just their little reunion alone. Like, I miss them together. I love their freaking, like, their relationship. Seriously, I don't know if there's a couple I enjoy more in a book. Like, they are just so perfect together and they're so entertaining to read, and like, that's what makes this series so good. And I want them together, so I don't know how long it's gonna be till she actually releases him or breaks him out, or they let her have him. I don't know, but that's what I want, and it made me all warm and fuzzy inside. I feel so bad. I want him out. This is rough. Okay, hello, happy Saturday. You're probably not watching this on Saturday, so this is irrelevant. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm on chapter 32, page 421. And I mean, we need to recap the handmaiden. Her name is Millicent. She is Poppy's sister, which is kind of fun. She's had that like mask painted on this whole time, so that explains things. Like, Castile saw her and she looks exactly like Poppy. Her hair is like not the same color, I guess, and she has like more freckles, I think he said, but otherwise her face looks like almost exactly the same, like they could be twins. She is the first daughter of Isbeth and Malik, and she's Poppy's sister, and on top of that, she's Malik's heartmate. brothers and sisters, kind of fun, and that's the reason he's like stayed behind all this time and hasn't left Isbeth, because he's there for Millicent. So love that explanation. Poppy went off, they've escaped, they broke Castile out. And okay, this part to me, so he was like all bloodthirsty again because I think his name's Callum, the like revenant bled him out basically, like stabbed him so he would bleed and lose a bunch of blood. So he was all like bloodthirsty again, just like he was when she last saw him. So they had to like knock him out and then take him away to these people's house. And Malik like helped them, and they're there, and it was just kind of like the same scene over again, which I thought was like a little bit silly, of Poppy again just having to like use her ether to like calm him down. But then now he like fed on her finally, and it got a little bit feral, and they've had their reunion, and my goodness, it's everything we hoped and dreamed for. But I must say, page 421 out of 645, and they've just now reunited. That was a long freaking time without them together. I know from here on out it's gonna be like full speed ahead, but damn, I mean, I got through the first part fine, but it's just like them together is what makes this book and this series. And so that was like kind of rough to not have them together for that long. But I'm interested to see where it goes now. Obviously, Isbeth is gonna be pissed that they broke out. So, I don't know, but that reunion was everything I could have hoped for. Personally, I thought they were gonna just throw down right there in front of Malik and Kieran for sure. Like, I thought that was gonna happen. Definitely, I was getting those vibes, but then they left the room. So the joining though, anytime now. Hello guys, this is not a reading update. I'm just over here doing the most, trying to get a good picture for my Instagram. And I like attempted to make myself look Poppy-esque. I don't even know if these look, they look horrible. I did them with my Jaclyn Hill palette from like 2016, probably expired, should probably throw it away, but I might be too lazy to take this off, or it might just look like a smear of pink on my face. So if that's why I look like that the rest of this video, that's why. But yeah, let's see if this turned out okay. Hello, I am back in my comfy shirt, but I did not take off the scar makeup because I was lazy, but also because of the vibes, you know? Like, let's finish this freaking book. It's a Saturday night. Let's power through. I am on chapter 37, page 488. Thought we'd do a little check-in. So, lots of just reunion between Castile and Poppy. Love that. And then we found out that Malik was the one that sent the Craven on Poppy, and I'm honestly a little confused. I feel like I missed it. Like, I think Isbeth needed him to. Genuinely, I read it, but I'm like, what was the purpose? Like, why did she have to? I think they were trying to kill her, obviously. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I missed it. If someone understood, please comment and tell me. I think my brain is just mush. I've read 250 something pages today. And then beyond that, they were about to escape, but Isbeth and all the people caught them and, or didn't catch them, but like stopped them. And Isbeth basically said that they could go, but that they had to go and find Malik and bring him back to her. Because I guess she has something up her sleeve. I guess Malik can like destroy the realms or some shit. Everyone seems very confused what she's up to. And Poppy's like, why would I do that? Why would I help you? Also, why are you just gonna let us go? Like, I'm not gonna bring him back to you. So they freaking stabbed Kieran and put a curse on him. I put a spell on you, and now you're mine. I'm kind of delirious. But what the fuck was that? They cursed Kieran. So I guess Isbeth has control over it, and if they basically don't come back in a certain window of time, like, he's gonna die. Which my thought immediately was joining, because I feel like that's what's gonna happen, right? They'll either figure it out that so that he doesn't die, they do the joining, because then his life is like tied to theirs, right? So then he can't die. Or they're gonna be like about to run out of time, he's gonna be like on his deathbed, and then Poppy's gonna be like, the joining, let's do the joining. I just feel like that has to be why it happens, because it's gonna be like a forced thing, right? And then also they took Malik with them, because they thought that the queen was gonna kill him. But he wanted to stay because he wants to be with Millie, who Poppy knows is her sister now. So I think he's gonna be pissed. They like knocked him out and threw him over their shoulder. But I really like him, and I like him and Castile's banter. This looks ridiculous on my face. I like it, so I like that he's coming with them. I'm excited to see more of his character and whatnot. Kind of fun. But I think he's gonna be really upset because he's away from Millie now. I don't know if Isabeth knows that they have a thing. I think like surely she knows, right? But also maybe not. I don't know. That's where we're at. Little check-in. I'm kind of wondering, I don't feel like this whole Malik thing is gonna happen in this book. Because there's a little less than 200-ish pages left, I think. It just doesn't seem like enough time. That feels like a big epic quest, but who knows? Guess we'll find out. It took quite literally every bit of restraint English in my body right now to pause. I'm at chapter 44. If you haven't yet read chapter 43, I mean, you already know, whatever. The joining is about to happen. Like, it's about to happen. And I just wanted to check in so that we can see my face now and then see my reaction after. Also, they got Malik in 0.5 seconds and it like wasn't even that big of a deal. I thought that was gonna be like a whole ass quest and they just were like, oh, did a little spell, found him. Cool. I don't care. I'm consumed. There's this much left. Okay. It's happening. It's happening. I feel like Michael Scott in The Office. It's happening. Everyone stay calm. I'm not calm. Okay, hi, I'm back. Here's the thing. Yes, I appreciated that. I truly appreciated that. But also, why was I expecting more? I feel like we were a little teased. Like, I don't know. It's like, it was very intense and very good, but then it's like there was all this buildup, and once we got to the nitty gritty, it was like a blur. Like, it was just a paragraph of like, what was she even talking about? It was like she got like scared or something. Like, she started to write it and was like, okay, like, I don't want to get too like intensely graphic with it or something, or like, I wanted details. I wanted all the details, and it just kind of was like, it was so descriptive, and then it was just like bam bam, I don't know who's where or what's happening, or and then blah, yay, we're done, we collapsed. I'm like, excuse, this is not, I did not wait 4 books for this. I mean, what do y'all think? That's a bit rude if you ask me personally. Like, I just think, you know, we deserved all the descriptors. I don't know. It's also, I think, because this is really the only thing that has spanned over like 4 books that we've been waiting for. So now that that's over, it's like, what am I looking forward to now? I don't know. I'm not mad. It wasn't bad, but I think it could have been so much better. Like, the majority of it was so good. Like, I literally was on the edge of my seat, and then I saw the chapter was about to end, and I was like, huh? And then it was just over. I don't know. Okay, we've got like a teensy bit left of this book. Let's finish it, and then we'll give our final thoughts. Okay, hello friends. I have finished. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 1:45 a.m.
So I finished. I already said that. Basically, to recap, they brought Malik's body to Isbeth. She got all weepy-eyed and was like, my love, I missed you. I did everything for you. That was like kissing his like corpsey body. It was kind of gross. And then she stabs him in the heart. And everyone's like, what the fuck? And so I guess she wanted to stab him so that she could awaken Colas. I'm trying desperately to remember all the things. Colas is like the super evil guy. I think he's like, wasn't he like Nykdos's dad's like twin brother or something? I think, and they were the life and the death, but then the switched or something. He's a bad guy is all we know. and started to awaken him. Then Poppy went all badass and she remembered Serafina's name, screamed it, lightning freaking struck her. She turned into a primal, her teeth fell out, she got fangs, she went all bad bitch mode. We thought Delano and Emil died for a hot second, but she like brought them back to life, which was badass, I suppose. And then she just like destroyed Isbeth from the inside out. And like that was kind of it. And then we're learning at the end that Colas is still technically awake, so I guess he's like their next enemy to fight. The war has only just begun. And that's where we are. Okay, overall, I really liked it. I definitely liked this one. It's hard to say, but I do think I definitely liked this one. I know I definitely liked this one. I'm committing. More than I liked The Crown of Gilded Bones. The Crown of Gilded Bones, I still say it was a lot of explaining, a lot of just like filler setting up for the next books, even though Castile was absent from like the first half of this one and I missed him a ton by the time they were together. Like the last half of this book was so good. If you can't tell, like it took me several days to read the first half. I read all of this today. This was like over 400 pages. I read all today. So the second half of the book is really where it picked up and really kind of like saved it. They felt like two completely different stories. It was just like full 180 in the momentum of the last half versus the first half. Yes, it was good. I'm just gonna have to say like it doesn't compare, and I don't think anything else in the series is going to compare to the first two books. I mean, From Blood and Ash was like the best book I had read in so long. Like it shook me to my core. And then Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, I still don't know. I feel like I still think I liked that one even better than From Blood and Ash. I don't know if I was just riding such a high and was so obsessed that that one just, I don't know. But those two first books are just absolutely freaking god tier. And I don't see how the series can get better than that. And as much as I'm saying I did like this book, I am just getting a little weary because I'm like, how are there two more books? Like, I struggle often in series whenever it's like the bad guy just keeps getting killed off and it's like, oh, let's introduce a new bad guy now to like keep it going, you know? It's like Isbeth was this villain and it was a whole big thing, but it's like, okay, she's dead now, and it's like, oh, now we're gonna worry about Colas. Like, I'm not hating, like this was good, but I just fear that it's gonna be drawn out and she's trying to suck every bit out of it that she can. She being JLA, which I love her, not trying to slander. I'm just saying it could be fantastic. I just am cautious of that. But overall, I did like this. I do just have to say, I genuinely don't understand what people are so salty about. Like, I have heard people are like up in arms about this book, and after reading it, I literally assume it just has to be the joining. Like, I don't know what else people would be upset about, and I don't get it. I mean, I'm so here for it. And again, it was like hinted the entire series, so why? Maybe people just really don't like, because Poppy kind of expressed a lot that she kind of in a way had feelings for Kieran and that she loved him too, but I think it was so thoroughly explained that it's not the same. Like, Castile and her, like, they are heartmates. She is his everything, but like Kieran, it's like she loves him deeply. Like, they share this bond, and Castile's obviously okay with it, and him and like they grew up together. They're the best of friends. Like, it's not like a throuple. Like, in a way it is, but it's like they're bonded by their souls and their love for one another, and it's not like some necessarily scandalous thing. And even if it was, like, I don't know why people are so salty about it. Like, it's obvious it's Castile and Poppy. Her and Kieran are not like over here doing anything by themselves on the side. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe I missed something. Like, I'm not sure what people were so upset about, because I just know people were pissed about this book when it first came out. Like, I saw so many negative reviews. So I don't know. Maybe they just thought the first half was boring and that's what they were pissed about. I don't know. But yeah, overall, liked it a lot. The series is still great. Castile is like just the greatest fantasy book boyfriend to ever exist. Like, I don't see one ever being better. He's just literal perfection. Him and Poppy together, perfection. I love ACOTAR and everyone loves their face sand, and you know, I do too, but I don't think they even hold a freaking candle to Poppy and Castile. I said it. That might be a hot take, but I said it. Whatever. Yes, if you guys read this book, which you obviously must have if you're watching this, Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.